Gary Vaynerchuk is a controversial guy. Usually you either love him or hate him. There's hardly a middle ground. Either way, stay with me during this video because I'll explain to you exactly why you need to put your emotions aside and what you can learn from what Gary does best. And it's probably not what you think. I'll basically dismantle and reverse engineer Gary Vaynerchuk and hopefully blow your mind. So just bear with me until the end here. And trust me, it will be extremely useful for yourself and your business. And don't worry, I'll put him back together. No Gary will be harmed during this video. Oh, sorry about that. Today you can see Gary Vaynerchuk on every possible social media platform. He has several millions of followers across them. He will talk about business, about personal development, give advice to aspiring entrepreneurs, big companies, students, and even kids. His rhetoric changes, but his style usually stays very direct, sometimes a bit aggressive, and he'll usually say quite radical things to get people's attention and get his message across.
3 words to give me inspiration for any day I'm feeling down.
You're gonna die. Yeah.
There can be trash talk and cursing.
You fucking idiot influencers. You fucking idiots. And you try to act cool like you're somebody, you fucking dick. Be nice. Kindness is the fucking foundation of actual success.
But whatever. Anyway, he's a social media figure with a backstory of entrepreneurship, how he's a hustler and how he saw YouTube's opportunity right at the very beginning and grew his family liquor store from $3 million in revenue to 60. That's impressive. He did many other things, but I won't enumerate them here because they are pretty detailed on his website inside this article, for which I'll put a link in the description. And he kept this opportunity spotting ability ever since. He tries to look at growing trends in business and society and positions himself on them without any emotions, just pragmatism. So we got it. He's a mentally fit guy, a hustler, but what is he actually doing and what is he actually selling? And what can you learn from him? His main business is his social media agency called Vaynermedia. It's based in New York and employs 800 people. They have Fortune 500 companies among their clients, which pay them to develop and run their social media strategy. As written on his website, Vaynermedia has flourished into having built best-in-class capabilities in paid media, strategy, full-service creative, influencer marketing, IoT and voice, e-commerce, personal branding, SMB marketing, and in-house consulting. Notice something familiar here? Vaynermedia is basically doing everything you see Gary Vee doing, but I'll talk about this later. Also, if you want, you can even meet Gary in person if you have $12,000 to spare. For this amount, you can benefit from a one-day full immersion social media training with Gary himself and other people from his team. If you follow Gary on social media, you'll actually notice he's training clients quite a lot inside the excerpts of his own videos. And he often tags these clients' social media platforms so that they can benefit from his own followers. So it's also a bit of advertising. That's why when Gary talks to you and gives an infinite bunch of advice to you, he's really doing that as a showcase of his social media mastery for his corporate clients. This doesn't take away the fact that you receive great advice and motivation for free, of course. So Gary Vaynerchuk is basically a social media beast. He was so good at it that he transferred his skills into his digital marketing agency Vaynermedia that now does the same kind of work for its clients. He doesn't need to monetize his audience directly, meaning that he doesn't have to sell anything to you, although he occasionally does. For example, when he launched his Empathy wine and K-Swiss sneakers, he did promote them to all his followers. Why wouldn't you want to use this $1 million opportunity, right? But these seem more like side projects of his own, while his main business remains Vaynermedia, or rather the top company Vaynerx that holds Vaynermedia and a bunch of other businesses that they diversified into. Which brings me to the question, what can you learn from him? And I'm not talking about his life advice here, we don't care about that. You can follow him yourself. What's interesting to us here are business tactics. And well, once again, he answered this pretty clearly in one of his videos, but most people didn't pay attention.
Around in a circle, all of you paid a lot of money, and I'm gonna tell you what you've already heard from me. You want the technical part of me? Like, I say it. Don't listen to what I'm saying, watch what I'm doing.
And that's exactly the point. Observe how he does his videos, how he talks, the design around his videos and images, the frequency at which he posts, how he engages his audience, and so on. All the social media strategies and tactics that his agency sells for such expensive prices to their clients, he's actually using them all each and every day on his social media channels. So basically you can simply reverse engineer them and you will increase your odds of success. He even published an 80-page slide deck where he breaks down this strategy, how he can milk one small piece of content in the most efficient way. For example, he takes a video of a keynote he gave or an interview at his office, and then he breaks it down into written articles for blog, still images, GIFs, and short videos for Instagram and Facebook of particularly striking sequences, podcasts, and so on. His team then finds creative ways to make full use of the potential of these platforms and drive viewers' engagement. For example, I'll just ask you to subscribe to my channel. Then I'll ask you to click the bell to be notified about my next videos. Give this video a like and comment on it. No, really, please do that. Do subscribe. Gary does the same, but much better. Let's take a look at his Instagram. This image, for example, with his finger pointing right at the Instagram button where you can turn on post notifications. It's eye-catchy, right? Or this image of himself inviting you to swipe up an Instagram story to follow a link to wherever he wants to drag you next. I mean, it definitely makes you wanna to actually swipe. And even better, his short videos. Most people will post videos like this, but Gary's videos look like this. What difference do you see? Let's take a closer look. If you want a little challenge, pause my video here and try to find any unusual features in Gary's video. Ready? Let's go. So imagine you're going down Instagram's timeline. When you stumble upon Gary's video, its huge tagline title will catch your attention. That's the first thing. He includes a fixed title inside the video itself, probably because Instagram's regular title is actually below the video and it's too small. But inside the video he can add whatever he wants, so the bigger the headline, the better, and it comes first. Then his videos are all subtitled, because you usually don't have headphones with you when you're commuting or casually checking your phone while taking a dump at work. So you can still benefit from his content by reading it. And finally, there's this red progress bar that lets you know how long his short video is. And while it seems pretty natural to see it like this, it's obviously not a native Instagram bar because there's no such thing. You can't actually know how long an Instagram video is unless it's IGTV. These seem like little things, but they are insanely effective. You are much more likely to skip an Instagram video if you don't know how long it is. But here you know, so you keep watching because you're like, okay, it's pretty short actually, I might just watch it until the end. Finally, at the end of his videos, he will often include a quick call to action, like tag someone who needs to hear this. By doing that, he expands his audience and gets new followers. Now let's take a look at his Instagram stories. If you follow Gary Vaynerchuk, you'll basically get trapped inside his world and he'll start to spam all your social media feeds and you'll probably start dreaming about him or having nightmares. His stories contain so much stuff and there's a constant new flow of them that it's even difficult to keep track. In this one he's promoting a new article on his blog, but he's not just doing it once. He does it a second time, a third time, a fourth time with a quick engagement poll, and finally a fifth story about the same article. He does that because people usually tend to skip a story if they figured out that they've seen enough and don't care watching it until the end. But no, with Gary, you'll have to tap 5 times to get rid of it. He knows that people's attention span on the internet is ridiculously short, so it will increase the likelihood of you actually swiping up that link. That's when you'll land on his blog and be able to read his article. But you'll also see this ad about his new sneakers, and you might just go ahead and buy them. Now, if we continue with his stories, you'll most likely always see a screenshot of some of the comments his followers left him. These comments will be part of some current context, and he'll usually answer. He does that to encourage his followers to leave as many comments as possible, and this drives engagement. And it's motivating for them too. If they end up here, they might as well benefit a little bit from Gary's followers army. Finally, you'll see some links or sneak peeks of his other pieces of content just in case he didn't manage to catch your attention while you were swiping down your timeline in the first place. As you can see, Gary and his team are pretty creative and try all kinds of innovative tricks to expand their social media reach and increase their audience engagement. And here I just talked about one of his channels. I won't do it for the other ones because that would make this video way too long, but you can go ahead and reverse engineer them by yourself. Pay attention to the unusual details and repetitive patterns and you'll get it. Last thing, when Gary talked about other people using his content for their benefit, he said that he doesn't care. He actually benefits from it. Take a look.
You know how many people run Gary Vee accounts on YouTube pre-roll and make money on my... A lot. You know who's the happiest of it? Me. I'm getting the exposure. Keep the pennies. I'll take the dollars.
You get it, people. I want my pennies. So do click on that subscribe button and that freaking bell. See you soon.